Rung 1, the watcher. You're not jealous, you're just observing. You scroll, you notice the car, the promotion, the love, you move on, but you return. Tomorrow, the next day, late at night when you should be sleeping. You tell yourself it's curiosity. You tell yourself everyone does this. But here's the truth, you're feeding something. A small creature in the basement of your mind. Every look is a crumb, every return visit is another. It grows quietly, patiently. You don't hear it yet. You don't feel its weight. But watching is never just watching. Watching is the doorway, and you're already standing in it, one breath away from stepping through. Rung 2, the comparer. The math begins. You don't choose it. It chooses you. Your brain takes what they have and holds it against what you have. A scale. House versus apartment. Partner versus solitude. Recognition versus silence. The scale never balances. It's not designed to. Your brain is not interested in fairness. It is interested in survival. A primal alarm sounds. They have more. You call it motivation. You tell yourself comparison is healthy. It shows you what's possible. But motivation feels like possibility. This feels like watching someone else eat while your face presses against cold glass. You're not growing, you're measuring, and measuring yourself against a highlight reel is a game that you were designed to lose. Rung 3, the minimizer. They share good news, and something in you turns inward. Defensive. The shift is so subtle you don't notice. They got the job, they only got it through connections. They found love, remember the 2 divorces, they bought the house, look at the debt they're probably in. You're not attacking, just adding context. Leveling the field, you call it realism, you call it seeing the full picture. But you're shrinking their success to soften the sting of your own stagnation. If their win doesn't count as much, your loss doesn't hurt as much. It's ugly math, but it works. Until you realize minimizing them shrinks your world. You're not protecting yourself, you're building a smaller world to live in. And a smaller world, it suffocates, slowly, quietly. Rung 4, the Justifier. Now the creature has a voice, and it speaks in your defense. You didn't get what they got, but you didn't want it. You could have had it, but you chose something better. Authenticity, freedom, a different path. You build an entire philosophy from your fear. You didn't apply for the promotion because you value balance. You didn't start the business because you are not a sellout. You didn't pursue the relationship because you are happy alone. It works until 3 a.m. When the voice quiets and underneath it, something raw speaks. You know, you wanted it. You still want it. You're not at peace. You're just better at lying. And the creature in the basement feeds on lies as easily as it feeds on truth. Rung 5, the sufferer. The lies wear thin. The justifications hollow out. The minimizations feel like ash. What's left is a feeling. Heavy, hot, humiliating. Jealousy, raw, real, ugly. You don't want to feel this. You're ashamed. You withdraw. Not to punish them, but to protect yourself. Every post is a cut. Every update is a reminder. Every success is proof that life is moving while you stand still. You tell yourself you need space. You tell yourself you're focusing on yourself, but you're hiding because it hurts less to hide than to watch. This is the longest rung. Jealousy stops being a feeling and becomes a weight you carry everywhere. It sits in your chest. It follows you to work, to bed, into conversations where you pretend to be happy. Exhausting. Rung 6. The Investigator. Suffering has a limit, not because the pain stops, but because you get tired, bone tired. So you start asking honest questions. Why do they have this? Not rhetorically, not to minimize. Actually, what did they do? What did they risk? Sacrifice? What do they have that you don't? Sometimes the answer is unfair. Luck, birth, timing. But sometimes you see it. They worked when you rested. They risked when you played safe. They stayed when you quit. They failed and tried again while you failed and stayed down. The honesty hurts differently than jealousy. Jealousy hurts because you feel small. Honesty hurts because you see why. But here's the thing about honesty. You can use it. You can build on honesty. You can't build on denial. Rung 7. The learner. The question shift. Not why, but how. Not why not me, but what would it take? You start watching them differently, not as a threat, but as a map. Their path becomes information instead of indictment. Their success becomes proof of possibility instead of proof of your failure. You see what you missed before, the years of work before the breakthrough, the rejections before the acceptance, the loneliness before the partnership, the doubt before the confidence. This rung is dangerous in its own way. Learning can become another form of hiding. You can study forever, prepare forever, and call it growth while never moving. But if you're honest, jealousy transforms. It stops being acid and becomes fuel. They become your teacher. Rung 8, the striver. Now you move. Jealousy becomes ambition. The energy that was eating you alive pushes you forward. You're not watching them anymore. You're watching your own path. But here's the trap. You're still measuring. You're running towards someone else's finish line. It gets things done, but the creature is still there. It just gets fed differently. Now it eats your accomplishments and asks for more. It's never satisfied, because satisfaction was never the point. The race was the point, and races never end. Rung 9, the owner. Something breaks, or something clicks. One day you stop running, not from exhaustion, but because you realize you don't know where you're going. You have things now, what they had, what you wanted. You look around, it's just life. Same sun, same moon, same ordinary days. You see them, the one you envied, and feel nothing. Not warmth, not resentment, just nothing. They live their life, you live yours. You own yourself again, your attention, your energy, your desires. The creature stirs sometimes, but now you see it when it moves. You feel its hunger, and you choose whether to feed it. Most days, you don't. You're not above jealousy, you just know it now. And knowing changes everything. Rung 10, the giver. The rarest rung. Most never reach it. Not because it's hard, but because by the time you get here, you've already won. Not against them, against the game itself. You see someone else climbing the ladder you just climbed, feeling what you felt, tightening at another's success. And instead of watching, comparing, minimizing, you reach back. You celebrate them publicly, sincerely, without calculation. You tell them they deserve it. You mean it. Not because you're saintly, but because you know something they don't know yet. Their success is not your failure. Their light doesn't dim yours. There is enough. There always was. You just couldn't see it from the lower rungs. From the inside, this rung isn't generosity. It's freedom. Freedom from the scale, freedom from the measurement. You're not jealous anymore. Not because you're better, because you're full. Full enough that another's abundance feels like proof. Proof that the universe gives. Proof that it already has. You wanted to know what jealousy really is. It's not envy. It's not pettiness. It's a map. A painful, uncomfortable map that shows you exactly what you want. Exactly where you're stuck. Exactly what you're afraid to admit you desire. The question is not whether you feel it. Everyone feels it. The question is, what rung are you on right now? And what will you do to climb? Because the view from the top is not looking down on everyone below. It's looking across and seeing equals. Looking forward and seeing possibility. Looking inside and seeing someone who finally understands. Someone who finally understands that comparison is a cage, and you were never meant to live in a cage. Which level are you on right now? Comment below. Subscribe for part 3. Your mind at every rank of gaslighting.